All right, good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Thanks for being here. There's that sticker again. No, thank you. Welcome to Ben's Brick Designs. I'm Ben. Thank you for being here. Happy Sunday. I hope you've had a good weekend so far and have some plans for the rest of the day that are fun, Lego related, building related, making related, something. It's always nice to encourage people to do some building. Hello, Zissou. Welcome. So we'll go ahead and get started. I don't have a whole lot of preamble. I've got my MOC that I finished. I put up on, you can see it on Shorts and on TikTok if you're on it. It's pretty much done. I'm waiting for a couple other parts to get done for the windmill, but the next step is figuring out how to make it travel. And I might try to do that for our meeting today. I'm scared. I'm scared of taking it all apart because I don't know how well it'll go back together, but we'll try it out. So, but today is more Austin FC Stadium work today. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to go. I've got some like carpal tunnel thing. I think like forearm is burning right here for some reason. Started last night. So I'm going to do the mouse work as much as I can, and if it starts hurting, I may switch to like building something small. So I hope everyone's doing well today. So let's get going. How's everybody doing? So the last we left this, I think I was going to go through and finish this area. So this area right here, I'm going to flip over to an image, see if I can find a good image of that section so I can give you an idea of what's going on. The south stands, that's not very big, have a corner on them. They're called Captain Morgan Corner because for a while it's just painted. This is pretty good right here. I just can do that. So this corner right here is what this is, right? We're gonna be looking at that. It's usually painted, so when I get it done, I might color these green or put a sticker on them or something like that. But as you can tell, there's this giant pillar right here. Now this pillar is one of 4 pillars that hold up the stadium. You can see another one right here. Hold up the stadium, hold up the roof. So trying to find a good, you can't really see all 4 of them at once. Here's a pretty good look at the north side. This is actually a really good look at the north side. So these pillars go all the way up to the top of the roof here, and they've got an attachment to this part here. Good morning, Missy. How are you? And Dude Jude apparently was in here a second ago. I didn't see that chat, but if you are indeed in here, that'd be great to say hello. So this is a view that I don't see a whole lot. This is the main gate. There's a bar kind of like, I can't really tell, but off over here-ish, right? And the supporter group meets there, walks down Breaker. There's a big road here called Breaker. And then they come down this road right here and then into the stadium, right? The band will peel off and play some over here, but then the most of us will just come in here. So this is the main gate. This is called the Zebra Gate because it's a company called Zebra, which does like personnel or something like that. But I think also is involved in like some of the training. They helped with the training facility. So this is the Zebra Gate. Over here is the North Gate. And there's the Southwest Gate. This is usually where we come in. But you can see this pillar right here is a big support piece. Then there's other support pieces along the way, right? And then a lot of the roof is held up by other parts of the building. But then there's support pieces on top of the seats right here, which themselves are kind of floating. These are on their own kind of support beams. So this is going to be, this section specifically is going to be very complicated. But when doing this section right here, I have to keep in mind that there's probably going to be like a big, what's the longest Technic pin I can get in here, or axle? So this kind of construction stuff I'm new to. Like this is all figuring it out as you go kind of thing. Looks like the longest axle you can get is 16. That's not right. Is it? That seems pretty small. Thought you could get a longer axle than that. Yeah, there we go. 32. Okay, so the longest you can get. Now, this doesn't keep something from bending at this length, right? All it does is help things stay kind of together. And if they bend, they won't break, right? It'll kind of, but what I might end up doing is having these pillars, because the pillars themselves are not terribly big. In comparison, that's probably just a 4x4 brick. I might be able to get away with doing a 3x3 brick in size wise. I don't think there's a 3x3 brick, but there's a 3x3 plate. We can kind of get a size here. So maybe about that big would probably be a good size. I'm trying to gauge it by like how many people would stand next to it and how big are the seats next to it. When I'm at the stadium next, I could probably measure it and get an idea, but I think 3x3 is probably good. So what we could probably do and I don't know how well we'd be able to do that. I'd be able to do this, but get multiple of these beams in here. Now, these come in black, so just go ahead and color that black. If you were to turn down the music a little bit. It's there to keep me company, not take focus. There are while it's underneath, like while it's under here, it's probably going to be good to have like, let's say we have let's say we have 4 that fit in this section. So let's put in if we were to put in these bricks to hold them, they would be 3 apart. They would be 2 apart actually. But I have an idea of how to do this. So and this I'll have to test in real life just to see how well it works, but let's put these guys on here just to kind of play with it for a bit. I know I feel like I've ADD'd into doing this section of it now instead of working on like the, actually it's probably going to be over here like this. How far back does that go? Hard to tell. There's like a triangle area here, then another little landing here, then this goes back here. I think it probably ends up like in this area, right about here. Once it finally breaks above the ground. So in order to keep these stable, then you put in This is a little trick that I figured out on doing the horizon setup. And then, what did I use on that other thing? It was a curved brick. Or was it a slope? Slove? Curved slope. Yeah, one of these. Oh, and these are the new ones. I don't want the new ones. I want the old ones. I think they come in multiple lengths. Yeah, I don't want necessarily that. And this is all just to give it stability underneath this. I also don't want to paint myself into a corner too bad with being able to have this poke through this giant cement block here. But I still want to be able to figure out a way to mark a piece in the software that is marked for, like, it doesn't matter what color this is, just the cheapest color. And I know that there's a filter in here that says the cheapest color for the selected piece is magenta for some reason. What's up, Johnny? Thanks for coming in from the Home and Garden show. Appreciate you being here. So this is just a way to keep this kind of, you've got these things keeping it moving back and forth. You've got these pieces keeping these pieces in place. These pieces are then attached by these guys and held down here. And in fact, you could probably even do another plate here, or a tile even, and hold those in place. Now, you can then stack these guys as high as you want to reach the top here. Oh, software is lagging. The closer in I get, the more it lags. It's like it's got to keep all the other stuff it can't see in memory. And if it gets to that point, it's going to be really hard to design something, because it's like, well, but you're pretty big. I need to be able to do other stuff. So that about reaches the top of where I want to go, right? So if we cover it with, let's take off this last row. Let's just assume, well, that may not be the top. This may be, we'll have another row above that, because the top of this comes out at like the concourse level. So wherever this lines up. So the absolute very top will be right here. So we can even have a couple other Technic plates. What I'll probably do is, yeah, just these guys. I'll put this over here, just so I have it out in the thing, is do a bunch of these until I get to the height that I want. 3 more of those. That's cool, thanks. This software, I swear. The love-hate relationship. Okay. That's probably pretty good because then I want to put a couple of these on top to stabilize it. So you put one on each side. It'll let me. Same thing. Then flip it. So now this should be a pretty stable build right here. It's got a core on each of these pillars, and then the pillars are held together by these Technic plates, and they should be fastened pretty well to the ground here. I could do another like one 2x6 Technic plate across at a different level and then anchor those too, but I think this will be pretty good. The weight's coming down on it, but I also want to keep it from shifting too much. And it's only these pillars, there's only 4 of these pillars. The roof will also attach to different points along the way up into the seating area, above the scoreboard, above one of the bars, and then above another one of like the loft areas. So it'll attach, and as long as everything lines up, it'll attach without swaying too much. But that's still a lot of brick being held up by just a few things. So the stronger these things are, that's where most of the support's going to fall, is right here. That's a guess. I'm not an architect. I've only done one really big build in my whole life, and that was not, it looks cool, but I wouldn't call it a successful build because it's just a giant Fabergé egg. So from here now, to get, the idea I had was to get it to look like a flat, because we can put stuff around this now, is to have Technic bricks, and I don't know if this will work or not, but we're going to try it. I might put a tile down in there too. Might do this instead. So what you can do is kind of do this all the way around. And I'll just have, because it's just an idea. I just want to see if it works. So this will they'll have to be kind of flush on the bottom here, which is why I thought I'd put a tile. I wish there was a square tile with a hole in it. There's a circle tile with a hole in it, but it's not. I wish there was a square one. So, and then you rotate every other one. And I have to make sure that these are all as flush as possible against each other, because otherwise it won't line up, especially in the software. In real life, it'll click together and it won't be a problem. But when you're doing it in the software, you have to make sure it's all lined up perfectly, or else you'll get collisions and things higher up won't line up properly. So what's everybody got planned for this today? Everybody but Johnny. I know he's going to be doing his home and garden show with his lug. That's the grainiest I can get, and it still isn't. How is that possible? All right. So then, see, that immediately doesn't work anymore. I was thinking that you could rotate them around, but I don't think that one's gonna work. So let's take this layer off, because what I was thinking of doing is doing these 2x6 tiles and just lining this with that. Come on, man. But as soon as you rotate it to get to the other side, like this would work great if it were... Cool, thanks for being selected like I wanted. Man. So if you do it like this, it looks great, right? It lines up pretty well. But then you have to figure out how to cover the other side. So just the lug meeting, then work on steampunk stuff. Cool. So there are I wanted to do this because I wanted to, while I wanted to keep it stable, I also wanted it to be a little smoother. But that may not be what I want to do now. Because you can get these bricks, but you can't get them in gray is the problem. Get them in black and white. And I think there's... Oh, the software is absolutely hosed. I thought you could get these also in 2x2, but I don't think you can without having like a pin or an axle on it, or a ball, a toe ball. So that won't work, because I was thinking, well, we'll just cover this whole thing in these guys, but since they don't come in gray, that's going to be a problem. Oh, wait a minute. I just selected. Yeah, black and white. That's it. So I got to figure out a way to make this pillar strong, but also, you know, if I wanted to keep these core axle pieces in it. Which honestly I do, because it'll keep it from... I don't know if you've ever... I'm sure we all have stacked a bunch of 2x4s. Even if you rotate them all the way up, at some point there's just a weak spot and they break in half, or they break in thirds. At least this way, when it does that, it'll kind of keep it together. That might be too big too, but I'm willing to make it a little bigger than to keep it from... Because the other option is to do it about that size, but then have stuff rotating all these all rotating all the way around. But the problem is, because these are 2x2s, they won't rotate right. So we can try getting rid of these and doing the 1x1 bricks. What's up, Greg? Yeah. I wish these would be great, because you can hit these flush with something and I won't see the studs, but it's... Oh, just, you know, this. Working on Lego design stuff. So if we do a 1x1 Technic brick, and I had one out here, what happened to it? After this stream, I might try to... Oh, these are cool. They don't come with the axle holes, do they? They do. And they don't need to be in gray, because I could put a tile on it. Stacking a bunch of these up would make it pretty strong. Oh, except I can already tell it's not gonna fit multiple ones on there. All right. Graving some Starbucks. You and my wife, man. I'm like, we have it's like the meme with we have a PS5 at home, and the pictures of like a PS3 or something. Like, I'll make you coffee. I'll make you overnight cold brew. I'll make you iced tea. I'll make you green tea. I'll make you hot tea. Hot tea today, and then I'll freeze it, and you'll have green iced tea tomorrow. And we've got all kinds of creamers and syrups and stuff. And she's like, yeah, I know. Like, all right, go, anymore, go spend your $10 on your coffee, because it's expensive, and it's going to keep getting expensive. So what can I do with a 1x1? The tiles, yeah, they have holes in them. So if I did this, and I put it on that hole, which means I'd have to raise it up a little bit first. It has to go a little higher to get to that hole. So let's raise it up just a bit. How are my pets doing? They're doing fine. Fizzgig is taking his medicine for his dodgy liver. See, that still won't work. That'll work great, but this won't. But he doesn't have any symptoms or anything. It was just the vet saying, hey, we did some blood work, and we noticed he's got one of the 3 numbers that we checked for liver function. One of them was elevated. So it was either probably because he was stressed, or he's an older cat, so he might have some issues. So here's some medicine you can get, and the medicine was like $50. And I was like, all right. It's for a month, and then we'll test again and see if it is improved. And if so, then he's fine. I'm like, all right, cool. And he just went in for his old man wellness check, and everything else was fine. I'm like, they're like, well, he's a little chubby. And I'm like, but he's lost weight. Like, the problem that I have going to the vet too is, like, I do exactly what you tell me to do. Like, you tell me what to do to help my cat, I will do it, right? And then 6 months later, somebody else goes, well, he's a little, it's like, I'm doing exactly what you told me to do. Don't put that on me if the cat is a problem now, because that's you saying that the cat's a problem because you it's your fault, basically. I don't feed him dinner food. I feed him whatever you've recommended to me twice a day, 3 times a day, soft food, kibble food, like whatever. But then to go, well, he's a little chubby, or he's a little chubby, and he's also always hungry. And I'm like, I don't think you can do both of those. I'm not overfeeding him, but apparently I'm underfeeding him, but he's also chubby. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So we're going to try to switch. They said, well, try some wet food. It'll give him a little more hydration, and it's a little more calorie dense without being like a whole lot of food. I'm like, okay. But then they're like, and eating kibble only really helps a little bit with their teeth. You still have to bring them in for a cleaning every 6 months or every year or whatever. Like, yeah, except teeth cleaning is like $500. So the cat's fine. This isn't going to work. The dogs are fine too, as far as I know. Aggie has a couple little bumps on her again, but they aren't getting bigger. So we're just going to kind of keep an eye on it. And they're both mutts, so they don't have the kind of same problems. Aggie has little dog problems, just meaning she'll probably run into stuff that little dogs run into, but she lives a little longer. Kaylee's going to have either hip dysplasia or, God forbid she doesn't get megaesophagus, but, a big dog thing. And she's not going to live more than 12 years, 13 years. And she's already 6 or 5. So, they're fine. They're good. They wake us up in the morning with slobbering all over the place, and the little one like sneezes in my ear. And all right, so I may have to rethink this. The other reason I'm a little worried about this is, this doesn't go as high as I need it to. You can see that this has to go at least to the level of the roof, and the roof is going to be, it's going to start, there's going to be a huge scoreboard here about this high, so it'll come up to here. So there's still going to be a breaking point right here, which means either more, I feel like this is concrete with rebar in it. It's scratching all the, ooh, look, construction kind of mental things, but yeah. So anyway, also I just realized there's no reason I couldn't put these upside down just to hold them in place, but we'll see. Tornado watch for the Pittsburgh area. What? That's crazy. Oh, there was that giant storm that blew through, starting in like the mountain areas into the plain states. There's this giant line of storms that they were talking about, producing a lot of hail and tornadoes. And we got like the tail end of it a little bit the other night. And Beth's been checking with her parents in Kentucky, and they lost power for a little bit when the storm blew through. So I'm guessing that's probably what is hitting you guys now. But they're really worried about that. Yeah, it's just this huge line, just literally like, and not an Etch-a-Sketch, but one of those things where you drag the degausser thing across the screen and it wipes it all out. That's what it feels like. It's just a big east to west kind of movement. All right, I'm going to let this sit for a little bit. I'll try to mentally figure something out for that. The next thing is to get these guys in place and to hold these guys. So again, we're going to try to keep it on an individual plate. So I want to do whatever I attached it to be on either the tail end of this plate or the part of this plate. I don't have any idea, Jake. Not a clue. A year and a half. If I only work on it once a week, that's the problem. Is I need to. When I was working on the Capitol, I was like in the software every day, 2-3 hours, 4 hours a day doing it. This is like 2 hours every week or week and a half. So I need to mentally get back into sitting down after work instead of playing video games or doing other things and working on this. But it is a little mentally taxing where you're just hammering your head at trying to figure stuff out, especially if you can't build it in person. Does it like print when you're done or something? Does it print when I'm done? What do you mean print? You mean the instructions? I can make instructions for it, but this thing is going to be so massive that instructions aren't going to help. And the instructions would take just as long to make. But I was thinking about this the other day, actually. Like how it goes into real life. Oh, this is going to create a list. So what'll happen, let's just say I'm done with it. Let's say I'm done with the design. What I'll do is then you can go over here and do add to wanted list. All parts. I guess I have something selected. And this opens up in Bricklink, right? And I want to create a new wanted list. And I'll call it Q2 main. And I don't want that weird space in there. And I'll proceed to verify items because it's pulling from Bricklink. They should all be in there. And then it creates a list, right? And I'll do an add to wish list, and then I can view the wish list now. So there's however many items, you know, there's probably, I don't know how many total parts. I won't say total here, will it? No. There's 77 different parts, but there's probably, how many are in the socket currently in here? 4,000 parts. But if you look at the model info, 77 total unique pieces, right? So there's a bunch of 2x6 bricks, a bunch of the cheese slopes, that kind of thing, right? So then you come in here and you buy all the parts. And let's do auto select. This might take a bit because there's a lot. Auto select, start. And let's just say I'm just getting the parts that are available now. I won't need to buy the cheese slopes because I will have the cheese slopes already. So right now, just with this little section done, I could take out the cheese slopes and see what it would be, but it'd be about $1,300 just this section. A lot of that's the cheese slopes. So let's go ahead and remove those from the equation. So I don't want to create carts, but let's go back to the wish list. Quantity. Sort by quantity. Okay. So I'm going to remove these because I don't need them. I may not need more of these. I've got some, but I don't think I'll need that many. Actually, I probably need more than what I've got. But let's go ahead and remove that. And then I'll probably get enough of these in an order. But let's go ahead and keep those in there. And now let's buy all of them and find out. So now we're still at $1,000, right? So those cheese slopes weren't costing a whole lot. What costs a whole lot are base plates and large plates, and probably those modified bricks. You can get kind of an idea of how much everything is by going to the model info. It'll give you a parts list, and you can search by each type of thing, the name, the whatever. So if you do quantity and look and say, okay, they're like 4 cents each, and the total for this whole group of things is 70 cents. These are $70. A whole group of these is going to be $100, right? So the price per part here, you can kind of scroll through and see what the most expensive piece is, and it's going to be the base plates. So 52 base plates right now is $500. Hi. I've got like, it's burning right along here. I think it's just carpal tunnel thing. So this is, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do that.
Train the dog.
Yeah, dog, come finish my design for me. She looks doofy is what she looks. Oh.
Morning.
Good morning. Hey, did you see this? Don't say it out loud. It's the... All right, sorry about that. I had to mute and talk about things that I can't talk about on, honestly, Lego related stuff that I can't talk. I'm not at liberty to talk about just yet. So yeah, so the idea is then, I'll get this done, and then I'll pitch it to the front office, Austin FC. I know enough of like the group, the supporter group, who knows the front office people, and I can say, okay, this is done. Please tell the front office, and I'll let them order it. I'll let them buy it. I'll say it's going to cost $6 to 10 grand to get the parts, and if they're okay with it, then they cut me a check. This is how I ideally commissions work: $10,000, $500, whatever the project is. You get them to say, that's great. What do we do next? And you say, if you can cut me a check for however much the cost of the parts is, I will order the parts, right? Either through Bricklink or whatever buying program you have. If you get the pieces at Bricks and Minifigs, if you get them on Brick Owl, if you get them on whatever. As long as you get the pieces, have a transaction receipt so you can show them that you spent their money on the pieces. And then once they arrive, you just got to start putting it together. Ideally, this will be put together in chunks so I can build it here and store it somewhere. So I can build each little individual section here, and each little, maybe 4x4 plates, maybe 1x1 plate. The roof is going to be interesting because I feel like it's still going to be done in sections, but those sections will have to sit atop a column of other things. So I don't think it'll be like the roof will be one big piece like I have now in the small version. I think because it's so big, it's just going to have to be like sitting on other things. And I think at a certain level, just the weight of it will help kind of keep it in place. But so then, yeah, they'll order it, or they'll send you the money. If you're doing a commission, show them the design, show them how much the parts are, say it'll cost this much. You give them the option. Either you write me a check or cut me a check or Venmo me, whatever. And then I will use that to order the parts. And then once the parts are here, I can get a group together and we can all build it. I can run everybody through how to build it. I'll have the software, There's another way to do it where if it's a smaller thing, you can say, all right, here's how you go create an account at Bricklink. I'll send you the XML file, or I'll send you the, whatever to make your own wish list. You can order the parts. It'll be sent to you. If it's a small enough commission, I can make instructions for it. I'll send you the PDF file with the instructions, but then also make sure that you put in there, and it costs $20 an hour for me to do this, or whatever. Flat fee, a project of 500 to 1,000 pieces is $300 or something like, whatever your rate is. And make sure they include that too, because this is time that you've put into this. This, I'm not expecting anybody to pay me for, because I am doing this because I like doing it. And I want this to be in the stadium with my name on it, so people can walk by and go, that guy did a really good thing. That's all I care about. Because I have a day job and I get paid pretty well. I don't do this for a living, which is why it's going to take 2 years to finish. But yeah, everybody handles commissions differently. So at the end of the day, you just do what makes the most sense to you. So last time we left this, there was a break here because these were not attached. And I was trying to decide if I wanted these to be attached as one single thing or not. So I think I'm going to change tack a little bit. My wrist is hurting. It's hard to use the mouse. I'm going to try to... Let's try building one of these little seat sections just to see what it looks like. I have to put this away because that can't be seen right now. So I'm going to break... I won't put the seats on it, but let's try to build this little section just to see how strong it is. That'll be a good... That little sticker. I had a hotkey for it, and I'm trying to remember what the hotkey was, because I think I hit a hotkey. Ow, 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 ow. Yeah, you can do little stickers when people show up. Maybe it's in... I want to find out, because I know I hit something. Scene collection, virtual camera tools. No. Settings. Maybe it's just in settings. Hotkeys. I don't have any set right now. Show prism sticker. Oh, it was a bracket. So if I did this, it would say welcome, and if I did this, it turned it off. Okay, that's good enough. I'll leave it off. So if new people come in, hey, how you doing? Thank you for being here. So good to see you. All right, so yeah, I've got this burning sensation right along my forearm, and I can't tell if that's usually like I've done something here, and it's the muscles are all tweaked for some reason, but I can't for the life of me think of what it was. I didn't really do a whole lot this weekend other than go to a couple things with our friends. So I don't know if I hit it or I just did too much work last week at work with the mouse. So let's see what we can do with this. Get us a plate. Get us one of these. Bag of, how many are there? 1,200 of these guys. Snot bricks. And I am going to need a handful of other. Let's put the no, build with instructions. And then let's make the instructions that. Okay, that's cool. What's up, Cliff? How you doing? All right, so we're gonna need what are those? I need four 2x6, 12 2x6. How you doing, Cliffy? Unpacking Lego. That's big news. How far back is this? It is 5 over and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16. 2, 3, 4, 5. So right here, and then 4 over. And then how many across here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4. This 3? It is. My maths. What's up, Mayo? We got 3 on each. So for Mayo and Cliff, I'm gonna give my mouse wrist a rest and try to build one of the sections that I've already done for the stadium and see how it shakes out. I need 4. What is this? That's a. Is that an 8x16 plate? So I need 2 of those and a bunch of. Oh, these are the tube brackets too, so I have to be careful about that. And I think it was just the tube brackets on one side of it. I think everything else was. Can't tell from here. I think it was just the top 2. Yeah, just the top 2, and then the other things were. Ooh, that was hard to see. Let's break this down. Open that up. The 2x4 tiles. 2x4 tiles. Okay, cool. Relock that. All right, so 4 hinges, 4 tube brackets. 2 8x16. All right, sorry that took a little longer than I wanted. So these are on the second to the end. Oh, I needed 4. Why did I only get 2? All right, let's put these together while I'm here. Yesterday, I got back into MOC building today. 8 hours of research and development while listening to streams for 20 pieces in a 5-minute build. Am I crazy? I don't follow that. What's up is yesterday I got back into MOC building. 8 hours of research and development. Research and development on the MOC that you're building or for school? And were you listening to streams to get 20 pieces? And these just sit. Relevancy is currency sounds like. I know it's your new catchphrase. You use it all the time. Every time you log into somebody's chat, it sounds like Rollins. It sounds like old 70s punk kind of aesthetic. Oh, I got you. Got it. Okay. Honestly, I don't know why I was doing these hinges instead of these hinges, but I'll change that in the software. So this goes go right under those plates pretty much. And this is exactly why. It's more stable to do these other hinges, but okay. So like that, now I just have to build out the whole thing on top of it. Yeah, it's nice to be able to I did a quick mock of something the other day, and it was maybe 250, 300 pieces. And the design part took about a week or so, like not too long. It wasn't that big. But then having it there to then just go and having the organization of all the parts and having the thing right there and just like layer, almost like 3D printing it, where you're like, all right, what's on the first layer? What's on the second layer? And you just hide everything, go back and hide everything, and just building. It took like 15 minutes to build. It was so great. All right, so the first thing that needs to happen is, how am I going to do this? Let's pull this out so I can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to do a new build, and we're just going to paste this section in here. And then I'm going to highlight it all and release all the bricks. What's up, Walter? How are you? It's been a while. Hope everything's going well. I said I was going to build so I could keep from using my mouse. And yet I'm still doing that. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to build this. It's just columns. Oh, I'm going to need... how many of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 of those. Let's pull up the model info and I'll just get the pieces required. I'm not doing those. I've got those. 34 1x8 plates. Okay. Let me bring the tray over. This is the problem with test building everything is that I don't think sometimes I have enough parts. And they don't need to be the right color, but I'm just going to start here and get out all my 1x8 plates. And I need 34 of them. What have you been up to, Walter? Putting Mariana's focus is school. Oh, yeah. That's important. That's what she needs to be doing. I need to get back into my Portuguese studies. They've slacked off a little bit. My French studies my being on Duolingo have died off a little bit as well. I just do like one lesson a night. Because most of the times I'm really tired and I don't want to mess with it. And I also want to read. So it's like, well, I could do this for a half hour or I could read for a half hour. So. Cliffy's back, everybody. All right, so there's 10. How many do I need? 34? 2, 3, 4, 5. Might as well just get gray too, it doesn't matter. Ooh, nice. That's a good compromise. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's 5. That's a 10. There's 20. You are gaming? What are you playing right now? 2, 3, 4, 5. 25. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. Try not to use this hand, but wait, that's 5. 30. 2, 3, 4. 34. Okay, what's next? Do I have any 1x6s? Okay, so there's my 1x8s. I need 1x6s. 1. How many? 10. 2, 3. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay. Do I need any 1x4s? 4 of those. 1, 2. Okay. 5 1x2s. 1, 2. Okay. I don't think I need 1x1s, do I? I need 1 1x1. Well, I'll tell you what. 1 1x1. Extra parts from a build. Not doing slopes. I'm not doing a 1x10 plate. Okay. That's odd. A 1x10 plate. Okay. All right. So now I need. I've got a bunch of those. That's no problem. I need 15 of those. So I put this away. This. Ugh, something is got my nose. Forge of Empires, cool. So I'm tempted to get Monster Hunter Wilds because everyone says you should get it. How many of these? 15? Don't care what color I get. But I'm still like, it's not Horizon Zero Dawn. So I'm still not like quite sure that I'm going to enjoy it because I'm going to be comparing it the entire time. $10. But I thought I'd give it a try. I know it just came out, so maybe I'll give it a while till it comes out on sale. Already did that, already did that, already did that, already did that, already did that. I need 2 of those. Oh, I need 2 1x3s. That's odd. How many of these did I need? All right. Open this up. So we got game plan. We've got mock building for our meeting, or a steampunk building. Johnny's at a trade show. Cliff is unpacking. Walter is helping Mariana with school. Who'd I miss? Do I need eggs? I mean, like real eggs? Yes. Eggs are expensive here. I think I was at the store last. They were like $7 a carton, $6.90 something a carton. I used to be able to get them from a friend at work, and I'm gonna hide all these seats because I'm not gonna worry about that yet. Release. But he hasn't been able to get any for a while, so okay. I could probably get rid of those too. Yeah, I mean, if we could figure out a way for you to get me eggs from Portugal, that'd be great. It's cheaper to get chickens and wait. The real whole eggs are expensive. All right, so I think I'm just gonna build up a wall until I get to the brackets, then attach the brackets, and then build on top of that. So hopefully what will happen is that I can build the wall and then lay it up here and attach it, and then build on top of it, and we'll see how structurally sound it is. So let's go. So is anyone planning on picking up the Mario Kart model? Oh, this is going to be a problem. This is a seam all the way up to here. All right, well, that's going to have to be addressed at some point or figured out how to build around. So, like, this is going to have to be a submodel up until here. So I'll just build on top here. So this is another 8, 8. Yeah, and I go through quite a few eggs. I need to not maybe cut it down to, because I'm an old man who likes his patterns and whatnot. So I try to stick to the things that I know and like. Oh wait, I need to put these on first. Still in that second row. So during the week, because I work at home, I have either cereal or bacon and eggs, and I rotate. One day cereal, one day bacon and eggs. Sometimes I'll do 2 days of cereal, but it's 2 different kinds of cereal. And then on Mondays and Fridays, so that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday. But then Monday and Friday, I go into the office. So I usually stop by a place and get a coffee and either get like breakfast tacos if I'm at the place that does breakfast tacos, or I'll just get like a scone from the other coffee place. So the next one is 4. So, and I eat 2 eggs at a time. So like 2-3 times a week. So like half a dozen eggs a week. And then Beth has started making eggs for herself. Actually what she does is has me make them for her, but she's been doing her own stuff for a bit too. Yeah, the UCS Mario Kart. I love it. It's a nice set, man. I was telling somebody that I need to get the piece list for it, and this is going to be weird, and do a Toad version. I think that'd be fun. So I'm having to kind of build it out sideways, bottom row, and then kind of build up from there. Because there's only one, I didn't cover the seams too much here. What I should have done is alternate like a 2 or a 4 and then an 8. In fact, I should have done 2s, so it would have split the brick down the seams. As it is, I think I've got 1, 2, 3. I mean, this should be okay to cover these seams, but I would have should have done better at that. But and that's a 6 or an 8. That's a 6. Whoops. No, I did that right. Then an 8 to the end. And then one of these guys. So if this doesn't come together really nicely, I'm gonna have to rethink the entire seating section, because it either all needs to work exactly the same way, or it can't like sort of work. Like, it needs to all work. See, right here I could have done a 6 and a 4 and that would have been better, but all right, so that row's done. So now I can build straight across with these guys. And this will give an idea too of how big the whole thing will be once it's done. This is the lower half of one section of seating, and it's one base plate. And this will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times 4 is 52. 13 times 2 is 26, plus 52, 78, 79, 78, 79. So this will have whatever, we'll have 78 seats, and there are 20,738 seats in the stadium. So this will give you an idea of what fraction this is, right? And like, not saying it to brag about the design or anything. I'm just saying it's going to be it's going to be a lot of work. And to answer Jake's question, no idea when it's going to get done either. These are all 8, except for the last one is a 6. It's done when it's done. Hopefully there's enough staggered plates in here to offset any seams. As long as it's up and down, it should be fine. Yes, spend years building. I think the design's going to take longer than the building. But we shall see. So above the 4th row, it's a 4, an 8, 8, 2. All right. 8, 8, 8, 2. And it's kind of nice and peaceful to know that you've got a project that will take years. Like, I don't feel like there's a rush to get it done. As long as the team's in Austin, which I don't see it going anywhere. They built a whole stadium for it. And the other thing is, there is talk of getting a women's team here too, which means more reason for the stadium to stay here. I don't see the stadium going anywhere for a great many years, whether the team stays or not. If the team goes away, we can I feel like they would at least use it for AWSL or something. So 4, 5. So the next one is 8, 8, 8, 6. Yeah, but big projects like this are nice where you're like, yeah, I'll be doing this forever. That's okay. I'm good with that. But I don't want to be doing it forever. I want to get to a point where it's done and I can bask in the glory of it. I can go by the stadium and have people watch it, you know. Or watch people look at it. There's also, I'm going to tap a friend of mine or a couple people in the lug just to see how they would handle, like if we had a screen. 8, 8, 8.2. How to power the screen, what kind of screen to use for like a Jumbotron. Kind of see what is going on here. The way this is going to stack up, the screen may be the size of a small tablet. I don't think it'll be as big as like a full iPad, but maybe like an iPad mini. So you could put an iPad mini up in there, and as long as it had power, you could run it for however you wanted to, however long. All right, that was a 4. Next one is a 8, 8, 8, 6. I don't know how that would work. I would almost rather just build a black tile screen, because otherwise there's maintenance. You'd have to be able to get in there and adjust the. I mean, if you look at the stadium, let's see if we can find a picture of it. It's gonna be hard to find the back of the scoreboard, but a pretty good one. So the scoreboard itself is pretty accessible. There's nothing behind this. So if you were able to, and there's just like a few rows of buildings behind it, you could easily reach in, pull it out. If it's just kind of mounted in there, pull it out and replace it with another, you know. But if you look at it, it's a little longer than like a regular display or a regular tablet. So I'd have to figure something else out. Let's see, what was that? That was a 4, then an 8. Oddly enough, this is not triggering my trypophobia. I think it's because they're more ordered. Like, I don't have a problem with this. If it were randomized a little more, I think I'd be freaking out. Okay, so that's 4, then 8. Do another 4. Then 8, 8, 8, 2. Yeah, it would be cool to kind of, and then the idea is on the screen, be able to pipe in hype videos of the team like they play before the games. Just kind of have that constantly going, or press conferences, or old games, or, you know, something. Maybe with sound, you know, whatever comes from the tablet. But again, you'd have to run a tablet for, I guess you could have somebody specifically go in there and like, all right, turn the stadium off, and only have that running anytime there's people around. And I don't know where this is going to be. Like, I don't know where it's going to live. Hey, and we're up to the brackets. All right, so I think we are. All right, so I got a 4. That was the last 4. No, we got one more. 8, 8, 8, 6. When I had mentioned this to one of the owners, he was very excited. And his first thought was, but I don't know where we'd put it. And I'm with him because I'd want it to be inside. If it was outside, it would get faded. And you definitely have to build a case for it. And that's a lot. I don't know how much the visitor center at the Capitol spent on the case for that model, but it can't have been inexpensive. That thing is massive. All right, now we got to do this. So now we got to go put our brackets on, or we got to build around these brackets. So then this is a 4. I didn't get enough 4s apparently. feel like I'm gonna need a few more for, so I grabbed a couple. 8 across the seam, which is nice. That's more stability in the middle. It's nice. This is so far very stable. Like that's not going anywhere. Even if I push on it in the middle, that's pretty good. So I'm heartened by this. Almost feel like I don't even need this, but we're gonna keep it. So then there's another bracket, another 4, and then another 3. All right, so now this attaches here. I'm gonna lay it down first. That. And lean it forward. So this is your stands. So down here there'll be railings. There'll be a tiled run along here, along with some of the pneumatic tubing. I don't honestly know that I would change it from a solid rigid tube with just being held on by some clips. That might be cheaper. I might look into that. But again, the whole reason to have it set up like this is so that when you attach all the little seats, there's a gap. So let's finish it up. Putting all these guys, now we can build on top of it. And if this works, then it's like this section, there's 5 of these, and then probably 6 on each side, and then another 5 on the other side. So this times 22, right? Just this section. Then there's section above that, sections above that, double sections over here. But if this works, all right, see you, Mayo. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it, as always. Enjoy your research. Okay. And above this, we've got 8, 8, 8, 6. And then we'll build these out over here. Were they giving you the stink eye to go outside? We need, yeah, we do. Yeah, she's kind of a pill. Looking at you through the door. All right, we got a 6, a 1, a 10, an 8, and a 6. This is overlapping. 6, 1, 10. Did I get too many 8s and not enough 6s? They're the same size. They're both adult food.
Abby was looking at me like, excuse me.
Well, and I don't know that I like the idea of, well, she got a treat, so you get a treat.
Right.
But okay.
Yeah, I made her do something. No, that's it.
Mayo's nays. All right. So That's your seating section. It's actually a little, I feel like it's a little top heavy. Like it doesn't take much to go backwards. So it'll be interesting to see once I put all the seats on it, how much that weight is cantilevered. If we look at the back here, you can see that that's kind of the case, which means I could probably move these up a little bit. Get some 2x4 bricks and see what happens. I'm going to take the whole section off. So now this is all attached, technically. So I'm going to take, wow, these hinges don't want to come off. So now let's move these back. And up one. And these were at the bottom of that, so let's just move them up one and see what happens. This is why, especially if you're designing in studio, you always want to try to build it at least once physically to make sure whatever you're doing works. Because it would really suck if you got to a point where, and I can't tell now if that's the same angle or not. So we'll try it. What I'll do is I'll replicate this in here. And see if it's still, so what I did was oh, come on. I basically just built it, but I don't know if it's going to be the same angle. So I'm going to keep the angle, but I'm going to move everything and see if it still attaches. All I did was this. And it looks like it doesn't quite work. If I move this forward a little bit, that won't work. I move it backwards. It'll probably work a little bit. So what has to happen, it looks like it's the same angle, just a bit farther back or farther forward. And honestly, where it's falling when it's built doesn't look all that different from this. This falls a little bit farther in because physically it'll fall farther in. So I think having it a little more stable is going to be important. I don't want it to push back and fall while it's unattended. You know, I don't want it to like suddenly go like this for no reason. So having it more weight up in front is going to be important. So it's going to be tricky because I have to replace all of them in the main model, but let's try. I think having it just be slightly forward is going to be fine. So let's try this. And we'll just hide that. hide. And I'm just going to slide this forward ever so much, just like that, and then I'll show everything. Oh, that's going to be a problem. Because now nothing will line up with the seats. Okay, so let's move it back. Still hide that. Let's show everything, and let's get rid of this. So touchy. Boop, 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 boop. So now, move this forward till it snaps. All right, so that needs to go forward just a little more. Not quite. We're getting there. Cool. Oh, just ever so much. All right, so what happens now is, since this works pretty well, I'm going to do the same thing here. Hide all that. Group this so I don't lose it. And I'm going to hide that. Move all these guys up. Show all. So I knew once I moved it, it was going to be a problem. So I think that connection, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that about where we have that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So let's move this off. And we'll do a connect. And we'll do... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2. Okay. And it's not lined up the exact 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. But 1, 2, 3, 4. I think if it rocked down a little bit, it would probably... be a little... Yeah, that's interesting. Why it's not the same in physical space. All right, cool. So I know it's a little early, but I think I'm going to stop. I've got a lug meeting today at 2, and I want to give myself a little time to see about taking my MOC apart, to see if it'll travel. So I'm going to cut it a little early. Apologize. But Thursday we'll get back to we'll do a set build. I don't know which set yet. Maybe the micro Space Baby, the new Space Baby gift with purchase. May do that one. And Da Vinci's Flyer. Da Vinci's Plane. I'm going to save this as south side section in progress. You guys have a great rest of your day and rest of your weekend. I hope you do something cool with the rest of your day. Missy, I'll see you in like 2 hours. But yeah, take care. Have a good Sunday, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.